Alright, hey guys, so this was written back in July. I didn't get around to filming it until like right now, so if anything is a little bit weird, like Enter the Florpus had just come out when I wrote this, keep that in mind. Zim is the Irken Invader and titular character of the 2001 to 2002 Nickelodeon series Invader Zim, who recently got a Netflix movie. Like I said, I meant to do this earlier. But how strong is he? Let's break it up into chapters. Now seriously, this is going to be kind of a longer video, so timestamps in the description. Chapter 1, Irken Species. So check this shit. The Irkens are these little green guys with antennae and colored eyes. Irkens are predisposed to view the tallest among their species as their leaders, and they have rituals in place once the tallest are found to make them even taller. These surgeries involve some more symbolic parts, such as removing the thumbs, or making them float a few inches above the floor at all times. The idea of a height-based hierarchy is unique among species. This could be a subtle nod to the hierarchical practice of looking down on those who are beneath you. In this sense, it is all but understandable that this is how their society should work. The Irkens are an invading class species, feared throughout the galaxy. A single Irken elite soldier is expected, and in the most part proven capable of, conquering an entire planet by themselves. This is done through a multi-stage plan, beginning with the infiltration of a dominant species, political social climbing, and then replacement of the societal leader through a robotic or clone doppelganger, allowing them to change laws, etc. This is shown clearly in Season 1, Episode 7A, Planet Jackers, which begins with Zim checking the progress of his peers and finding that within the same amount of time since the Great Assigning, several Irkens have already finished their planet conquest, while Zim has made almost no progress at all. Moving on to the Irken Armada, the massive ship led by the almighty Tallest seems to elicit some strong sense of panem et circenses, or bread and circuses. Allow me to elaborate on this, as the natural state of the Irken is a sense of bloodthirsty conquest. The lack of a challenge leads them into a slovenly state of hedonism. This is mostly displayed in the almighty Tallest spending the bulk of their time on screen eating various snack foods, or making jokes. Although when situations arise, they also display unmatched competence in their roles, commanding their armadas with the finesse a surgeon may use their scalpel. This seems to be, for the most part, their natural state, which explains why they are feared by their enemies. Chapter 2, Impending Doom 2. The first episode of the show displays the Great Assigning, where Irkens are assigned planets to conquer based on height, of course. This is for Operation Impending Doom 2. Operation Impending Doom 1 was called off very early on due to the actions of one Irken. Let me check my notes here. Zim. Zim got too zealous during Impending Doom 1 and ended up killing all the other Irken elite before any of them even got off planet. Due to this, the almighty Tallest ended up sending him on a fool's errand to an unknown planet as far away from them as possible, planet that they aren't even sure exists. Let me check my notes here. Earth. Oh, I live there. Irken Elite for Operation Impending Doom 2 are assigned a robot servant to aid them in their quest, a collapsible SIR unit. Standard issue information retrieval units are designed as large databanks that absorb all available information about the planet, as well as doing menial tasks that help their Irken masters. The SIR units were programmed by Irken scientist Hawk. That's in the comics. Read them too. SIR units can be customized and adapted to many situations, as proven by Invader Tac augmenting her SIR unit named Mimi with additional weaponry and stealth. SIR units can become defective and are a huge threat to any Irkens near them, as displayed in Season 1, Episode 17A, Mega Doomer. Zim's SIR unit is cobbled together patchwork of old parts and trash that the almighty Tallest made quickly to try to get Zim to leave. It's kind of similar to the sandwich they gave him. Gur, as he's known from then on, has two distinct modes. The primary one is, for lack of a better term, very, very stupid. Just unbelievably incompetent and barely able to follow any direction without doing something inane or outright ignoring the commands. The other, much more rare mode is Duty Mode. This is displayed by his eyes changing colors from blue to red. Duty Mode makes him very competent to a fault. Episode 19A, Gur Goes Crazy and Stuff, has Gur recite the SIR unit code, granting him free will in the event that the mission is under threat. Gur perceives Zim's own stupidity as a threat to the mission and tries to destroy the threat by means of force. Chapter 3, Control Brains. Here's where shit gets weird. So remember all that stuff I said about the Irken species being those green guys? It was only partially true. See, with Irkens, it's what's on the inside that counts. No, I'm not talking about their squeedly splooches, though I'm glad that you brought that up, random commenter. I'm actually talking about their packs. See, it's easier to think of Irkens as basically a computer with a green fleshy casing. The easiest analog to this would be Steven Universe, where the gem characters are a hard light hologram projection that forms around and is maintained by a large biotechnological gemstone. In much the same way, the Irkens' personality, mind, memories, and basically their entire identities is stored inside of the pack. According to the DVD commentaries, the creator of the show, John Vasquez, describes the control brains as Irkens who are genetically engineered and modified to the extent that they no longer require bodies. The control brains can encode other Irkens through their pack and assign them roles such as Invader, Custodian, or Fast Food Drone. 2 unproduced episodes are very important when considering the control brains, as generally speaking, they only appeared in 2 episodes proper. They appeared in episode 20, Tack the Hideous New Girl, as well as episode 28, The Fry Cook came from all that space. In both instances, they are depicted as non-empathetic, imposing, and for lack of a better term, unknowably alien. They are beyond reproach. This is similar to how the Bible depicts angels, just... Holy shit, okay, so I totally spaced on something. Sorry. It's 1 a.m. and I'm drinking coffee. Okay, so I totally spaced on this. I was going to write this in the script and then I forgot. The thing about Invader Zim that's really important, and I'm just going to throw this right in the middle of the video. Remember a while back when I was saying that there were 3 different kinds of magic? There's Divine, Eldritch, and then I revealed the 3rd kind of magic that kind of pissed some people off, and it was Christmas magic. And I said it was like a Rochambeau, like a triangle, and it's like Christmas magic is somehow stronger than Divine, but still weak to Eldritch, and I explained that as Eldritch, you have your Krampus leaning in on Christmas, so that's why Christmas is weak to Eldritch, but at the same time, Christmas is in itself going into the Divine. It took over, like Santa Claus took over what is supposed to be a very religious holiday. But then, some people are saying, well, Christmas is in itself a form of divinity, which I would completely argue against, because if you're religious, you don't really believe in magic itself, whereas Santa Claus is almost entirely involved in magic. So, you have your elves, your whatnot, like everything about the Christmas mythos when it comes to Santa. So basically, the separation of divinity and Christmas is essentially Santa, which is magic, and then religion, which is based in miracles and actual things happening. Now, here's where I'm going to piss off some people. I believe that based on that Rochambeau thing, based on the triangle, Invader Zim would be divine. And I know that sounds stupid. Especially since this is supposed to be a Halloween video, so why would I even bring up Christmas things? That's a very good point. Now, hang on a second. There was a Christmas special of Invader Zim. In the Christmas special, Zim creates a Santa suit thing during one of his plans, and he's going to take over all of humanity with it, because that's how powerful Christmas magic is. But the fact is that even though he created the suit and he constructed it himself, and he used only Irken technology mixed with, like, Christmas magic lore, the fact that the Christmas magic is so powerful that it even overcomes all of the Irken technology and just overpowers it and creates an actual fully formed Santa Claus, something that has completely destroyed the world. Something that is in space, still to this day in the future, just attacking Earth every single year. I do enjoy that they gave a little like cookies and milk to it, but that's beyond the point. The Santa suit is actually stronger than Invader Zim, and it takes Dib, who's on a completely different playing field. Dib always loses as well. They both lose. Dib is the only one who can defeat the Santa suit, and he uses actual dark forces. So if you think about it, Zim is always divine. He's seen as like this angel. He's from this completely unknown sort of reality, coming to Earth from the heavens, whereas Dib is often associated with dark colors, the arcane arts, even though it has absolutely nothing to do with science, like membrane. Like, he does deals with demons in at least 3 different instances in the show. So, Zim, divine, Dib is Eldritch, and then you have Santa Claus right in the middle, where Santa Claus is stronger than Invader Zim. So you have Christmas overpowering Divine, Divine overpowering the Eldritch, which is Dib, and then Eldritch overpowering Christmas magic, which is the entire thing. So, like, that's why Dib can defeat the Santa suit can defeat Zim, and Zim can defeat Dib. That's a whole fucking premise of Christmas magic being the third part of this fucking triangle. Invader Zim is like the keystone, and I didn't want to fucking say that until I got to a point where I could actually adequately explain it, and unfortunately that's now, and nobody's going to know. Back to the rest of the video, go! The episodes that were not made but are considered canon despite this, which, okay, real quick, so the reason I say they're still canon relates to the movie Enter the Florpus. The idea that Mini Moose is a grand and powerful weapon, and in fact the most powerful weapon in the galaxy, comes from the unreleased episode Nubs of Doom. That would have been his introduction. Instead, he was first shown in the Christmas special with no real explanation or indication of his abilities. So this indicates that the unreleased episodes are considered canon, or at least as canon as you can get in a show where an episode ends with both lead characters being transformed into baloney. Okay, sorry about that quick aside. 2 unreleased episodes that mention the pack and the control brains. In 10 Minutes to Doom, the idea is presented that the Irken species cannot live more than 10 minutes without the pack attached to their backs. This is shown off in real time by having Dib knock Zim's pack off, and it attaches itself to Dib. As the episode goes on, Zim becomes weaker and begins to die, while the pack takes over Dib's brain and slowly kills him as well.
Dad, do you know what this means? This device! It is Zim! It's his brain and his life support! That means his body is just something to carry this pack around! It's... I am Zim, and I will rule you all!
Because it's not designed for human biology. Originally, this episode would have been the series finale, with both characters dying in a grisly death. But Nickelodeon was all like, "Hey Jonan, per our last email, can you please not kill off the main characters?" And so it would have ended with Gaz kicking the pack off Dib and it landing on Zim, saving both of them in the last few seconds. The other episode, The Trial, would have been a real doozy of an episode. Aside from the flashbacks in the episode revealing the characters Zim and Scooch are the same age as the Almighty's tallest Red and Purple. And it would have shown the previous Almighty tallest Miyuki and Spork, both of which killed by Zim. Look, it shows an insane amount of Irken lore. The Control Brains put Zim on trial for his existence evaluation, where they look at his literal war crimes and determine he should be dead. They plug and play into his back to absorb any knowledge he may have that would help the Irken species in the future. Here's the kicker. The Control Brains glitch out at this point, declare Zim the most incredible Irken ever, and then let him drive the Massive for like 10 minutes. Chapter 4, Zim's Malfunction. Okay, so clearly if we count the Irkens as essentially walking computers, then it's very obvious Zim is a broken one. But broken in a very specific and unique way. Let's discuss this further. After killing the previous Almighty Tallest, as well as about half the population of his home planet, Zim's pack was re-encoded as a fast food drone, which, interestingly, was also the result he got from his elementary school career day evaluation on Earth. This seems worth noting. It's like, that's interesting. The idea that Zim's pack is recognized by the Control Brains as being the most incredible Irken ever is interesting. I kinda have to call bullshit on it. Chapter 5, Feats. God, where to begin? Starting with the overzealous genocide of his own people, 2 counts of regicide, advanced chemical warfare, mastery of robotics. It's almost impossible to have a conversation about Invader Zim that isn't dominated by the discussion of the episode Dark Harvest, in which Zim steals various organs from his classmates to hide his alien biology. It's a really grotesque episode. Creators are surprised they got away with it. But being so early on, as episode 2B, it became a sort of bargaining chip for the writers to get away with a lot more in later episodes. Nickelodeon would push back on certain topics and the writers would be like, yo, but Dark Harvest, though? Like, Dark Harvest. The thing about Invader Zim that you need to know, like, after saying all of that, number 1, he actually has hearing problems. He's half deaf. This wasn't really covered in the show proper and is like barely touched up in the comics, but it's in the production notes. Zim has hearing issues, and that's why he's constantly shouting and saying what and interrupting people. Like, that's part of who he is. Zim is, technically speaking, the most incredible Irken ever. All of the other Irkens are designed with a singular purpose in mind, and that is follow the tallest to a fault. And he sure fulfills both ends of that. If the Tallest did anything, if they stopped trying to invade planets, if they decided that the best Irken is a fast food worker, then Zim would give up everything and become a fast food worker. Zim's only problem is himself. He's a glitchy little computer. He's a broken memory card. He's doing his best, and he's stronger than everybody around him, but he's not as good as the others, and you don't want to throw it out because this is 1996 and memory cards aren't cheap. Like, come on, man, my PlayStation, you know, I have saves, I need them. It'll work every once in a while. I forgot to write stats, apparently, back in July, so,
I am Zim!